There is a push at the state capitol to make Texas more cannabis-friendly. A number of bills have been introduced regarding legalization, medical marijuana, and criminal justice reform. Here to talk about this is Jax Finkel, Executive Director of Texas NORML, a nonprofit that focuses on marijuana law reform. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
A couple of years ago, Texas passed a law to establish a regulated hemp market allowing CBD products. How has the cannabis debate evolved in our state since 2019?
Well, we have definitely come a long way on legislators and regulators understanding THC and how to test for it and discussing legal versus illicit items. And it's really shown a light on how much taxpayer funding is wasted on prohibiting this plant to be available more widely in Texas.
A few marijuana-related bills have passed committee and are awaiting discussion in the Texas House. Two penalty reduction bills include HB 441 and HB 2593. Jax, what would those do and what is their significance?
Well, in Texas, possession of cannabis flower is a criminal misdemeanor that carries some pretty hefty consequences. And so Representative Zwinger's bill would take 1 ounce or less and reduce the penalty to a Class C, but it would also protect you from losing your driver's license. It would protect you from being arrested, and it would also allow you to not have a record by going through a deferral process. Now, Moody's bill 2593 would do the same for 2 ounces of concentrate, which many people don't realize in Texas is a first-degree state jail felony right now, but would reduce that down to a Class C. I think it's also of note that a Republican bill, Representative Steve Toth, HB 99, has now also been voted out. And yesterday, Chairman James White, a Republican from Southeast Texas, his bill had a hearing yesterday, and we hope that it will also advance.
HB 1535 also heads to the Texas floor. It would expand medical marijuana use for veterans with cancer, chronic pain, and PTSD. Would you explain how this could improve health care?
Absolutely. You know, whenever there's broader access to regulated medical products, we see Medicare Part D spending go down. We see often prescriptions can become more efficacious, so they take them at a lower rate, so there can be cost savings there. This bill is very important because it allows more patients the option to use this as one of the tools in the tool belt and also to work with their doctors. It makes a couple of really key improvements, and I think that also it will have a IRB board that would allow for research, which is also important.
Finally, what are the chances this session for a bill to legalize recreational marijuana?
Well, I am confident that we will make history by having a hearing and having it potentially even voted out of committee. But to make it all the way through the gauntlet, I think will be a very heavy lift, though I will remain optimistic and continue to work towards a win.
All right. Jax Finkel, Executive Director of Texas NORML, thank you for sharing your time and your perspective with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.